All right, back on the road and on our way to Hutchinson, Kansas. At the conclusion of our last episode, we mentioned that we would be first stopping in to see my best friend from junior high when I lived in Wichita, Kansas back in the late 60s. Mike and our families lived on the south side of Wichita, on Sunrise Drive, in the Mona Kay neighborhood. When not in school, Mike and I spent a lot of time together, hanging out with friends, exploring the neighborhood, growing up in an era called the 60s. Mike and I attended Jardine Junior High School in a section of town called Plainview. My dad worked in the aerospace industry in Wichita, known back then as the air capital of the world. It's still a major center for the aircraft industry, with Boeing, Airbus, Learjet, and Textron Aviation located there. Finally, after 55 years, we have an opportunity to visit with Mike and his wife Glenda as we pass through Hutchinson, Kansas, where they now live. We have a great time catching up as Mike and Glenda treat us to lunch. Our extended lunchtime is, of course, not near long enough to cover those missing 55 years. But as short as it was a wonderful reunion that turned out to be the highlight of the trip. Leaving Hutchinson, we find ourselves finally on our original intended route, U.S. Highway 50. In this segment of our trip west, we'll stop in Dodge City for an overnight, as well as to visit the very famous Boot Hill Museum. From there, we'll make our way to Garden City, Kansas, and then cross over into Colorado toward a campsite near the town of Los Animas. We'll then depart from US 50 and make a beeline towards Walsenburg, Colorado, and take US Highway 160 into the Rocky Mountains to the town of Alamosa. Here we go. We are now experiencing the wide open plains, wheat fields, and open prairies. It turns out we're also following the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe rail line, also used by Amtrak's Southwest Chief train, which runs between Chicago and Los Angeles. The weather for today is fantastic. Blue sky and fluffy white clouds. Just a travel day into Dodge City, where we find a great campsite just south of downtown for a nice relaxing overnight stay.
We are now leaving the KOA in Dodge City, Kansas.
The weather looks a bit overcast this morning. There is no rain in the forecast, but we're keeping an eye out for storms to our southwest. Today's plan is to visit the Dodge City Boot Hill Museum, but before that, we make a point to backtrack a bit to a spot just outside of Dodge City to the east. As we pulled into town last night, we spotted a very official-looking road sign that pointed to a parking area and overlook, an overlook of the Dodge City stockyards. Curiosity got the better of us, so we go in for a look. This site is actually called the Cattle and Feedlot Overlook, and yes, it comes replete with a full sensory experience. Okay, on we go to the Boot Hill Museum. The Boot Hill Museum is located on the original site of the Boot Hill Cemetery. We're here on a Friday in May, so it shouldn't be too busy. Dodge City was known as the Queen of the Cowtowns, and this museum chronicles its history with a variety of displays and activities for visitors to enjoy. But we're here just one day too early. While many of the exhibits are open for viewing, the major activities and events of the season start tomorrow. Well, undeterred, we go in anyway to learn about the history of Boot Hill. As it turned out, the museum features so much more than just Boot Hill. Our museum visit starts out with the history and backdrop of the Boot Hill era. This area was home to the Kiowa Indian tribe, and other tribes surrounded the area, including the Pawnee to the north and the Apache to the south. Fort Dodge was a major stop along the Santa Fe Trail here. Freighters, such as this 6,000-pound covered wagon, was used on the Santa Fe Trail, hauling goods and furs along the trail. Unlike the trails to Oregon, California, and Utah, the Santa Fe Trail was a route for commerce. It was mostly used by the military or by men looking for fortunes and adventure. In 1872, the Rath Company store opened up on Front Street in Dodge City. Essentially a trading post, it was a business where buffalo hides were purchased for cash or traded for supplies, clothing, food, and equipment. It was said that over 200,000 buffalo hides were shipped by the store in its first year alone. Business also boomed for Brown's Saloon and subsequent competitors as whiskey flowed freely to thirsty buffalo hunters and cowboys. Brothels also flourished. One such boarding house was run by infamous Molly Whitecamp and located on Tin Pot Alley. Dodge City was indeed a Wild West town, known for its lawlessness. There is also quite a display for the Tatanka, the Indian name for buffalo. The Hutchinson, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad was eventually built, with a major stop located here in Dodge City. There was a large locomotive on display in the parking lot where we pulled in to park, and here we get a miniature version of such a train in action overhead. And then there were the cattle and cowboys, a major part of the American Western frontier culture. The displays in the museum covered everything from branding irons to horse saddles, barbed wire to cattle rustling, guns, and of course saloons. Throw all of that into lawless Dodge City, and you're likely to get bar fights and street shootouts. Quite an impressive gun and rifle collection is on display here. We take a quick peek outside on the recreated Front Street. Tomorrow will be the first gunfight reenactment of the season. It's only fitting then that we end our museum visit at the Boot Hill Cemetery. The town did have some semblance of civil society, a newspaper, the Front Street Times. A barbershop then sprouted up, and Dodge City also had a bank, a post office, and even a church. Overall, a great visit, but now it's time to jump in our wagon, and time to, as they say, get out of Dodge.
We're leaving town. We're getting out of Dodge. Here we go. The Dodge House Restaurant Saloon. I bet they have some good steaks in there.
Yes. That one place in, where was it? Lubbock, Texas, that steakhouse. Yeah.
We got to get going. Stayed here late, going to the museum. Far as the eye can see. Rolling prairie. Cows and horses.
Horses up there,
Palominos.
Palomino.
And a brown horse.
Looking out at the plains through our windshield, it is not directly evident that we are journeying along several pathways leading out of Kansas and to Colorado. Besides U.S. Highway 50 that we travel on, paralleling to our south is the Arkansas River. Likewise, the Amtrak rail line follows this route on the Burlington Northern tracks. Finally, we have the Santa Fe Trail traveled by the wagons of yesteryear that ran along this route. Cattle grazing lands abound, and we see small herds of cattle everywhere along the roadway. We'll proceed on to Garden City and then cross into the central time zone just past the town of Kendall. And then finally, we cross into Colorado near Coolidge, Kansas. Our camp target for the day is at John Martin Reservoir State Park. The reservoir is a large lake created by damming of the Arkansas River near the town of Hasty, Colorado.
We're staying at a state park in Colorado on the Arkansas River.
Again, we keep our eye on the weather as we try to time our arrival after the passing of storms heading east-northeast from south-central Colorado. Our timing is such that the storms have moved on to the northeast, so after setting up camp, we are treated to a stunning and colorful display. Just off in the distance, the setting sun illuminates massive thunderclouds. We can only imagine the wind and rain that the storm is unleashing across the plains.
We camped on the Arkansas River area, and now we're leaving, and we're heading to La Junta.
Despite the overcast sky at the start of the next day, our understanding is that clear weather is ahead for the coming week as we move further west. In La Junta, the road splits in 5 different directions. Colorado State Road 109 directly north and south, U.S. Highway 50 to the northwest toward Pueblo, and U.S. Highway 350 southwest direction towards southern Colorado and the New Mexico border.
They're actually showing movies here.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. Is that
They have an opera house.
Is that the new Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah.
It's Saturday. It's dead down
It is.
here. Kids' dental braces. We opt to depart Highway 50 and take Colorado State Highway 10 directly to Walsenburg and the fastest route to the Rocky Mountains. Our drive now is pure high plains grassland, wide open spaces. We're on our way to a campsite in Alamosa, Colorado, but we'll conclude our episode today with this relaxing ride and view. We'll see you next time as we leave the plains and enter the Colorado Front Range.